For the first time in Canadian history, the Notwithstanding Clause will be used to override the charter rights of striking workers. The UCP government in Alberta under Premier Danielle Smith announced that they will use the Notwithstanding Clause to order the 51,000 teachers who are currently on strike back to work.
That is why we'll be invoking the Notwithstanding Clause in the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, the Alberta Bill of Rights, and the Alberta Human Rights Act. We believe that this is a necessary measure to end the undue hardship caused by the teachers' strike.
That was Mickey Amory, the UCP government's justice minister, and you might be asking yourself, why would the government have to use the Notwithstanding Clause to order teachers back to work? Well, as I've told you multiple times over the past few weeks, what the Alberta government is doing violates the charter rights of teachers and is therefore illegal. There is only one reason why a government uses the Notwithstanding Clause, and that is because they know that the legislation will not stand up in court and violates the charter rights of Canadians. This legislation will impose a contract on teachers, which 90% of them voted down just a few weeks ago. This also means that there won't be any caps on classroom sizes or formulas to handle complexity within the classroom. The legislation will also impose a $500 per day fine for any single person who violates the order. It will also impose a $500,000 per day fine on any union who violates the order. It's also worth pointing out that the UCP government has shut down nearly all debate in the legislature when it comes to this piece of legislation. And here's the saddest reality of all of this. The Alberta government has allowed teachers to be on strike for weeks, and it is clear that they had no intention of bargaining with them in any way. Regardless of whether you think the teachers are getting a fair deal or not, do you think it's acceptable that any government can come and tell you that no, you cannot withhold your labor from us? If you want to read this piece of legislation for yourself, also known as Bill 2, I will email it out to you over on my Substack.